Before this year ends, something is already unfolding in silence, and silence is always how the biggest shifts begin. Not with noise, not with warning, but with subtle pressure, the kind that builds beneath the surface until reality itself has no choice but to rearrange. Most people won't notice it happening. They'll stay distracted, waiting for obvious signs, dramatic announcements, or external permission. But the universe doesn't operate that way. When a financial shift is real, it doesn't arrive slowly. It arrives suddenly, cutting through delays, erasing stagnation, and changing direction in a way that feels almost unreal once it starts. And here's the unsettling truth. If you're hearing this message, you are already aligned with it before you press play, because energy doesn't reach randomly. It moves toward resonance, toward those who have been unknowingly preparing, questioning, waiting, and feeling that strange inner tension. The feeling that something is about to happen, but you can't explain what. That feeling isn't imagination. It's timing. The final phase of 2025 carries a rare energetic signature, one that doesn't repeat often. It's not about slow growth or gradual improvement. It's about reversal, about momentum snapping back into place, about money flow changing direction almost overnight. And this isn't collective energy meant for everyone. It's targeted, focused, precise. 3 zodiac signs are positioned directly inside this energetic corridor, where opportunity doesn't knock politely. It forces entry. The universe has been watching who stayed patient under pressure, who kept moving despite delays, who didn't quit even when results refused to show. And now that patience is converting into acceleration. This is the kind of shift that makes the past suddenly make sense, where missed chances reveal themselves as protection, where delays reveal themselves as setup, where everything that felt unfair turns out to be necessary positioning. And once this shift begins, there is no rewind button. Momentum doesn't apologize. It doesn't wait. It moves forward and rewards those who recognize it in time. That's why awareness matters now more than ever. Because the universe doesn't force abundance onto anyone. It opens a door briefly and observes who notices, who steps forward, who hesitates, and who looks back later wishing they had trusted the signal when it appeared. These last months of the year are not about hustle. They are about alignment, about being in the right energetic lane when opportunity accelerates. And for those aligned, the breakthrough doesn't arrive as a theory or a promise. It arrives as a moment, a call, a message, a sudden change in circumstances that shifts financial reality almost instantly. And when it happens, the most shocking part isn't the money, it's how fast everything moves afterward. This is why you've been feeling restless, why old routines feel uncomfortable, why familiar situations suddenly feel limiting. That discomfort isn't loss, it's preparation. Expansion always feels like pressure before it feels like freedom. And the universe never expands someone who isn't ready to hold more. Which brings us to the first sign whose energy has been quietly compressed for months, building toward release, so sudden it will feel unreal when it finally happens. This sign doesn't experience a gentle improvement. They experience a jump, one that clears obstacles in a single motion. And once that jump begins, there is no returning to the version of life they were living before. But to understand why this sign is first, you need to understand what the universe has been doing behind the scenes. Because nothing about this moment is accidental. Sagittarius energy has been under review, not punished, not blocked, reviewed. The universe has been observing how Sagittarius handles uncertainty, how they respond when progress slows, how they behave when recognition feels delayed. And for a while, it probably felt unfair. Effort didn't translate into reward. Movement didn't feel rewarded. Plans felt paused just when momentum should have arrived. But what looked like stagnation was actually compression, energy pulling inward, pressure building. Because Sagittarius doesn't rise gradually during alignment periods, Sagittarius launches. And before that launch, the universe reduces noise, clears distractions, and removes paths that would have led to temporary success instead of lasting expansion. That's why this phase felt uncomfortable, because it was stripping away what no longer matched the level Sagittarius is about to step into. And now, that compression is reaching its breaking point. Before the year ends, Sagittarius experiences a financial redirection that feels sudden almost shocking in its timing. Something that was delayed clears without explanation. A payment arrives that seemed forgotten. An opportunity appears that wasn't available before, not because it didn't exist, but because the timing wasn't right yet. This isn't slow money. This isn't incremental progress. This is a jump in income, visibility, or opportunity that resets expectations entirely. And what makes this shift powerful is not just the money, it's the momentum that follows. One breakthrough triggers another. Confidence returns instantly. Decisions become easier. Fear loses its grip. Sagittarius steps back into their natural state. Expansion, optimism, forward motion. This is the version of Sagittarius that attracts opportunity without chasing it. That draws luck not because they ask for it, but because they align with it. And once this alignment activates, it doesn't stop at one win. It multiplies. But here's the part most people don't see coming. This breakthrough doesn't arrive when Sagittarius feels fully ready. It arrives when they're just about to accept less than they deserve. The universe intervenes at the last moment, forcing expansion before self-doubt can take over. And when that happens, the shift feels dramatic. Life moves faster. Choices matter more. And the old version of comfort becomes impossible to return to. But Sagittarius is only the opening act of this cycle. Because while one sign experiences sudden acceleration, another is preparing for something equally powerful, but far more stabilizing. A reversal that restores what was lost and strengthens it beyond its original form. And when that energy activates, it doesn't just change finances, it changes how secure life feels on every level. And that shift is already closer than most people realize. And this is where we pause, because what happens next isn't just about opportunity. It's about restoration, about a sign whose patience is about to be rewarded in a way that feels deliberate, earned, and unmistakably timed. The kind of breakthrough that doesn't announce itself loudly at first, but quietly locks stability back into place. And once it does, everything else begins to grow from that foundation. If you thought the shift you just heard about was powerful, the next phase changes the rules entirely. What happens next is quieter at first, and that's exactly why most people underestimate it. Because while sudden breakthroughs grab attention, true financial transformation often begins with something far more subtle. Stability returning where chaos once lived. This is the phase Taurus has been unknowingly preparing for. While others chase quick wins, Taurus endured uncertainty. While momentum felt unreliable, Taurus stayed grounded, even when it felt exhausting. And the universe noticed. Taurus energy has been moving through a cycle of endurance, not punishment, not delay, but refinement. Every disruption, every moment of doubt, every period where security felt threatened was shaping a stronger foundation. And now, that foundation is ready to receive reward. Before 2025 ends, Taurus experiences a financial realignment that feels almost restorative. Something that brings calm back into money matters. A sense of control returning. Not through luck, not through risk, but through opportunity that feels solid, dependable, and earned. This is the kind of breakthrough that doesn't explode suddenly. It locks into place. A new income stream stabilizes. A practical idea finally starts producing consistent results. A decision made months ago proves itself right. And what's powerful about this phase is confidence. Taurus stops questioning their worth, stops doubting their timing. The universe doesn't just give Taurus money here. It gives Taurus confirmation. Confirmation that patience wasn't wasted. That effort wasn't invisible. That staying grounded through uncertainty actually positioned them perfectly for what comes next. And once that security clicks into place, growth accelerates naturally because stability attracts expansion. When fear leaves the system, creativity returns. When stress releases, clarity sharpens. Taurus begins seeing opportunities that were always present but impossible to act on before. And now, they can move without hesitation, without panic, without second-guessing. This is the phase where Taurus quietly rebuilds stronger than before. And what makes it even more powerful is contrast. Looking back, it becomes obvious how necessary the difficult phase was. Because without it, this level of confidence wouldn't exist. Without the pressure, the structure wouldn't hold. And once Taurus locks into this new rhythm, finances stop feeling fragile. Planning becomes possible again. Growth feels sustainable. But the universe doesn't stop there. Because while Taurus restores stability, another sign is being prepared for something far more visible. Something that doesn't just improve finances. It elevates status, reputation, influence. And when this energy activates, it changes how others respond, how opportunities appear, and how quickly momentum builds. Leo energy has been warming up beneath the surface. Not roaring yet, gathering, observing, waiting. The universe has been repositioning Leo quietly, placing them into environments where recognition becomes inevitable, where leadership is noticed, where value can no longer be ignored. And before the year ends, Leo enters a phase where alignment becomes obvious. People start responding differently. Conversations shift tone. Opportunities carry more weight. This isn't coincidence. It's resonance. Leo begins attracting situations that match their natural authority. A partnership appears that feels perfectly timed. A collaboration opens doors that were previously out of reach. Visibility increases. And with visibility comes income. Because money follows recognition. And recognition follows alignment. Leo's breakthrough doesn't creep in. It arrives decisively. One moment shifts perception. One opportunity alters trajectory. And suddenly, Leo is no longer chasing success. Success is responding to Leo. And what makes this moment intense is speed. Once the door opens, momentum builds fast. Decisions carry more impact. Rewards scale quickly. And Leo feels something familiar return. Confidence without force. Presence without effort. This is Leo stepping fully into their role. And the universe responds immediately. But here's the detail most people miss. This breakthrough doesn't come at the peak of confidence. It comes right after self-doubt tried to take hold. Right after Leo questioned whether patience was worth it. That's when alignment activates. Because the universe expands those who are ready but still humble enough to move with intention. And once Leo's phase begins, it doesn't just affect Leo. It shifts the entire energy of this cycle. Because now all three signs are active. Momentum, stability, and visibility are aligning simultaneously. And when that happens, the final phase of the cycle becomes unstoppable. But what's about to unfold next isn't just individual success. It's closure, completion, a cycle ending cleanly, and a new one opening immediately in its place. And the way this final transition happens will determine who fully receives what's being offered and who hesitates just long enough to miss the peak. This is where timing becomes everything. Because the last phase of this year doesn't wait. It moves quickly, quietly, and decisively. And what comes next is the moment where the universe makes its final selection, not based on desire, but on readiness. As this cycle moves closer to its turning point, the energy begins to behave differently, almost selectively. Things that used to take effort start happening with less resistance, while things that don't belong begin fading without explanation. This is usually the moment people misread the situation. They think the work is over, that the hard part is past. In reality, this is where the universe becomes most observant. Because momentum doesn't mean completion. It means access. Access to choices that weren't available before. Access to paths that were hidden behind delay and confusion. And access always comes with consequence. Sagittarius, Taurus, and Leo each begin noticing subtle but unmistakable signals during this phase. Not dramatic signs, but patterns, repeated names, familiar opportunities resurfacing in new forms, conversations that feel oddly timed, invitations that feel casual but carry weight. This is the universe testing responsiveness. Not patience anymore, responsiveness. How quickly you recognize alignment. How decisively you move when something opens. And this is where many people unknowingly stall their own progress. Because comfort starts returning, and with it, the temptation to slow down, to overthink, to wait for confirmation instead of acting on instinct. But instinct is the language of this phase. Logic lags behind here. The universe doesn't send explanations in advance. It sends openings. And openings don't stay open indefinitely. For Sagittarius, this feels like momentum trying to pull them forward faster than their old pace. For Taurus, it feels like stability creating room for expansion. but only if they're willing to step beyond what feels safe. For Leo, it feels like visibility increasing before confidence fully catches up, and that tension is intentional, because growth always outruns certainty. The universe expands first, then waits to see who grows into the space. This is why this phase feels charged, not stressful, charged, like standing at the edge of something significant without being told exactly how it will unfold. And that uncertainty is not a flaw. It's the filter. Only those who trust themselves move cleanly through it. Everyone else hesitates just long enough to feel momentum slip past. And here's the critical detail. This phase doesn't announce when it ends. There's no warning, no countdown. It simply transitions. One day opportunity feels available. The next day it feels distant again. And most people never realize the window closed. They just sense that timing changed. This is why awareness matters more now than ever. Because what comes next doesn't depend on desire or belief. It depends on how you move during this exact stretch. And once this phase completes, the universe doesn't circle back to explain what you missed. It simply continues forward with those who are ready. Which raises a real question. What happens after momentum is unlocked, but before direction is fully chosen? Because that space between alignment and outcome is where everything is decided. After alignment comes responsibility. And this is the phase very few people talk about. Because once momentum starts, the universe shifts its role. It stops guiding and starts responding. This is where small choices suddenly carry weight, where intuition sharpens, where timing becomes sensitive. And for those who have entered this new phase, life begins offering signals faster than before, not louder, but clearer. You'll notice patterns accelerating, repeated opportunities, familiar themes returning, but at a higher level. This is a universe asking a quiet question. What will you do differently now that resistance is gone? Because abundance doesn't stay where it isn't directed. It follows focus. It responds to intention backed by action. And this is where many people unconsciously slow themselves down, not because opportunity disappears, but because old habits try to return. Comfort zones whisper. Familiar limits resurface. And this is why awareness after a breakthrough matters more than the breakthrough itself. The universe has already opened the lane. Now it watches how you drive through it. Whether you hesitate at green lights, whether you trust momentum or question it, whether you move forward cleanly or drag old fears with you. This phase rewards decisiveness. It rewards clarity. And it quietly withdraws from those who second-guess alignment instead of stepping into it. That doesn't mean punishment. It means redirection toward those who are ready to build with what they're given. And here's the part most people underestimate. This cycle isn't isolated. It's connected to what comes next. The choices made now determine the scale of what unfolds later. Because the universe doesn't give everything at once. It releases in layers. And the next layer is already forming. What's coming in the next phase isn't just about money. It's about positioning, about who you become visible to, about which doors recognize you when you approach, about which opportunities respond when you speak up. The next chapter activates different energies, different challenges, different rewards. And only those who complete this phase with awareness step into it smoothly. That's why staying tuned matters now. Because the next message builds on this one. It explains what to do once momentum starts, how to avoid the most common mistakes people make right after a breakthrough, and which signs will need to move fast, not emotionally, but strategically. This is where knowledge becomes leverage, where understanding timing prevents regret. And that's why, if this message resonated with you, this isn't a moment to disconnect. This is the moment to stay aligned. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next reveal, because the next video doesn't repeat this message. It continues it. It goes deeper into what happens after the shift, how to hold your position once you rise, and which energies will dominate the next cycle. And if you've been feeling that pull to understand more, that's not curiosity. That's preparation. Stay with us. The story isn't over. It's evolving.